On here, two Trump accounts. According to this article, and it's true, Trump accounts are not the only investment option for your kid's future. So let's see here, make sure we got everything. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Trump accounts, not the only investment option for your kid's future. The Trump accounts, which are designed to save for American children's futures, can be a good start. But what if your family isn't eligible for it, or you can't get the 1,000 deposited that jumpstarts it? Luckily, there are options you can use either alongside or in lieu of the program if your family simply doesn't qualify. In this article, Finder shares what you need to know about Trump accounts and other investment options. Who can open a Trump account? Trump accounts officially launched on July 4th, 2026. They're tax advantage investment accounts for American children with a Social Security number and their long-term retirement accounts. Created under the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Trump savings accounts are technically an individual retirement account, IRA. Once the child turns 18, the account converts into a traditional IRA. That's something that a lot of people I don't think realize, is that it is a retirement account, technically. There are other ways that you can use the money to avoid penalty. Maybe this article will get into it, but it is technically a retirement account and will convert to that. According to TrumpAccounts.gov, all U.S. children under 18 with a valid Social Security number are eligible to establish a Trump account. Parents or legal guardians can open and manage accounts on behalf of their children, and once the kid turns 18, they get control over the funds. To get the investment account, you must download the Trump Accounts app on either Apple App Store or Google Play. All right, see, I didn't even realize you had to have the app to do it. I thought you'd be able to go to trumpaccounts.gov. So, good lesson learned there. Who gets the 1,000 in the Trump savings account? American children born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028 get 1,000 automatically deposited in the account once established. The 1,000 is a one-time contribution from the U.S. Department of the Treasury. Aside from just the $1,000, custodians of the account can add up to $5,000 per year. So that is an important distinction. There is a small window where the child will get funded that $1,000. So for me, I have 4 children. Only one of my children fits into this window to be able to get that $1,000 contribution from the government. How much can a Trump account grow? This is interesting. A Trump account can grow quite a bit. As tax advantage accounts and with the ability to contribute up to $5,000 per year, passive growth can add up. With just the $1,000 deposit, assuming a conservative 7% annual return, a $1,000 deposit could grow to approximately $3,380 by age 18 without any additional contributions. Not too shabby for a contribution you didn't have to fund. It's very true. $1,000 you didn't put in can turn into over $3,000 with those assumptions baked into it by the time the child is 18. That's really not bad. Now, what will that 3,000 be worth in, let's see here, 2044? That's a good question, something we can get into later, but that's something to consider as well. Things to consider about the Trump savings account. The Trump accounts are long-term retirement accounts, not specifically college education or traditional savings accounts. However, the child may be able to use the funds for things other than retirement. Once a child turns 18, standard IRA rules kick in for the Trump savings account. This means withdrawals from the Trump savings account before age 59 and a half usually come with income tax plus a 10% penalty unless they are used for specific things. According to the Trump account site, the IRA's funds can be accessed without penalty when the child turns 18 for qualified expenses. A few things are listed, like education and a first home purchase. Other than qualified expenses, withdrawals would be taxed at ordinary income tax rates. Additionally, kids born before 2025 don't qualify for the federal deposit of $1,000, so parents and guardians with older kiddos will have to fund the account on their own. Very true. So again, it reverts back to an IRA-like account. So if you take the money out, you're taxed at your ordinary income tax rate. This is like a traditional IRA or a rollover IRA. So things to consider there. And again, your older children likely don't qualify for the $1,000 contribution. 4 alternatives or options to consider. As the Trump Savings Account is a long-term retirement account, here are alternative and or additional savings options for kids. 529 savings for education. Similar to the Trump Savings Account, a 529 plan is a tax advantage account. However, there are some major differences in how they work and what they're made for. 529 savings plans are designed for education expenses. Contributions grow tax-free if used for qualified expenses, and many states have tax deductions or credits for 529 savings contributions. On top of all that, 529 plans have no contribution limit, unlike the Trump account's $5,000 yearly cap. While earnings grow tax-free, and they are only tax exempt if the funds are used for qualified education expenses. This is a very important distinction for a 529 plan, is that if it's used for anything other than education, you have a tax consequence that you need to be mindful of. Now, one of the beautiful things about the 529 though is that if your child doesn't go to school, you can transfer the 529 to a different child. All right. This next one makes me a little bit nervous for people, but we're going to talk about it, see if they go over some of the fears that I have. But a Uniform Gifts to Minors Act accounts and Uniform Transfer to Minors Act are custodial brokerage accounts. UTMA, UTMA, and UGMA accounts allow you to invest in stocks, ETFs, and other assets for your child. And then once they're of age, they can access the account and use the funds or assets for pretty much anything they like. UGMA accounts allow you to transfer financial assets like cash, stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. Similar, but not exactly the same, UTMA accounts, UTMA accounts can hold a wider range of assets, including real estate and other property. The exact structure of these accounts can depend on your state. For UGMA accounts, the money can go toward pretty much anything. The funds are not limited to education or retirement. There's no federal cap on contributions like there is with a Trump account. All right, this didn't really address my concern or worry with UGMA and UTMA accounts. It sort of does. They can use the funds or assets for pretty much anything they like. That is true. My main concern with these is this money belongs to the child who then becomes an adult. What if your child is not responsible? What if your child has bad habits? Now they have a pot of money that you no longer can control. You can't stop them, and they can spend that money any way they want. What I have seen some people do is they invest in accounts in their own name, but designate it for their child. So if they want to give it to their child, they can, but they don't have to. So just something to consider there. You never know where your child is going to end up. We hope that they're going to be well-behaved children, but we're never quite sure, you know? All right. High yield savings account. This might be the least fun one, but at least it gets something. For simpler, shorter term goals, a high yield savings account still earns its spot. There are many options without monthly fees, joint ownership, full access whenever the kid might need it, and long-term growth with high rates. Many high-yield savings accounts have rates around 4% APY with no monthly fees, no contribution limits, and come with the standard $250,000 federal deposit insurance. So the main concern with these is they don't grow, they don't have the same potential growth that you could in other stocks or other sort of investments. So you need to be aware of that. Custodial Roth IRA. If your teen already has a part-time job, a custodial Roth IRA could be a great option. You fund a Roth IRA with dollars that have already been taxed, and qualified withdrawals are tax-free. Roth IRAs are ideal for those who think they'll be in a higher income tax bracket when they retire, likely for children. I think we have a baby crying. Contributions are limited to what the child teen would actually earn, but qualified withdrawals in retirement come out completely tax-free, which can beat the tax-deferred but eventually taxable growth inside a Trump account. All of this is true. Now, there are things to consider. I'm going to look at the positive first. Your tax rate as a teenager is likely going to be significantly lower than at later stages in your life and in retirement. So making Roth contributions makes a lot of sense. That is a benefit over the Trump account because you are going to have to pay tax on the withdrawal on a Trump account when you take distributions from it at 18 or retirement. Whenever you end up doing it, you're going to pay tax on that. So if we're talking about contributions for just minors or people with low income, Roths have a huge benefit there. The other reason I really like Roths for children is because it's, especially if you get them involved and it's their money, not your money you're doing for them. But if it's their money, they get to see themselves get paid. They decide with you how much they want to contribute to the Roth. You can encourage them to do more, right, if it's a low amount. But from there, they now get to watch the market, not just the ups, but the downs, and see how it moves and get used to that as a young child. So that as they get older and they make more money, they're already used to how the market works, and maybe they're more excited about investing, which could lead them to have larger nest eggs and retire early. But there are a lot of benefits for minors when it comes to Roth IRAs. All right, bottom line, these new Trump accounts can offer free federal money in a tax advantage account. But with this free money, there are restrictions. And of course, not everyone can get their hands on it. Eligibility for that flagship $1,000 first contribution is narrow, and the account itself is designed for long horizon retirement savings, and only certain expenses qualify for penalty-free withdrawals. For most families, layering may be the smart move. Grab the free money if your child qualifies, or at the very least, consider opening the account and depositing what you can, and then consider pairing it with another savings account for any other future needs. The main benefit of the Trump account is honestly that $1,000 contribution that the government is giving you. You are going to pay income tax on it. And to compare it to another gift that you would be giving your child where you either put it into an UGMA or an UTMA or an account for yourself, you're likely going to pay, assuming you've held it for over a year, the position, you're going to pay long-term capital gains rates as opposed to ordinary income tax rates. That's really the only downside I see here in the Trump accounts, is that it's like a traditional IRA, so you're going to pay income taxes on it. If you're making contributions for a minor, their taxes aren't very high anyway. So, and then they're going to pay income tax on it in the future. So there are just different options that you have for your child. But if you have a child that was born during that window, I do recommend you absolutely take advantage of that $1,000 contribution. It's free money. What do you have to lose?